Warning, spoilers ahead.
You know, when I first saw the trailer for Nope, I was genuinely excited to see what Jordan Peele might have in store. I wasn't the biggest fan of Us, and I thought this movie might be a bit of a course correction that gets him back on his Get Out track. But just like your mother when she's done with your father, I was left disappointed. Overall, the movie really isn't that bad, which is something that the reviews won't let you see because for some reason you can only be completely in love with Jordan Peele or completely hate him as a creator. For me though, I left the theater not really feeling either way about him. I'll start with some of the things I liked. I really enjoyed the tension throughout the first half of the movie, as well as the performances given by the actors. I think that's something that you don't really come across often, where people are so believable in what they're portraying that you kind of just slip right into the movie. There's a scene in the first half of the movie where Daniel Kaluuya's character is like in a barn or like in a stable or something like that, and he comes across these kids. We don't know they're kids when we first see them, but they're in costume and they're trying to scare him. And for me, that part was probably the most tense of the whole film. It ends up being a gotcha, like fake me out type thing, but it's the best example of the tension that it can be had in this movie. Because once the alien is revealed to the audience, the movie stops having those tense moments and it more so becomes about how they can get rid of the alien and how long it's going to take them to overcome this issue. I think a large part of what held this movie back for me was the time spent on flashbacks for Steven Yeun's character, whose name I can't remember but I'm too lazy to look up, only for him to end up dying about halfway through the movie. So you're kind of like, well, what was the point of all those flashbacks around his character then? I'm pretty sure what the problem was is that Jordan Peele was going for a thematic connection between Steven Yeun's character and the main characters of the film, when I think the movie would have been a lot stronger if he had a narrative connection to them. Which kind of sucks because, I mean, making that narrative connection would have been pretty easy, I think. Since I generally like to offer up solutions instead of just complaining, perhaps they could have tied that flashback involving the monkey into the alien we're dealing with right now, somehow. Maybe Steven Yeun's character is the person that figures out that you can't look them in the eye or else you'll be taken. A lesson that these flashbacks could have contextualized. Maybe the monkey's rampage that he goes on was started by him catching a glimpse of the alien, which would then reveal that the alien has been on Earth for decades as opposed to the 6 months that everyone in the movie thought. You know, hold on. I'm gonna try and break this down. Alright, so you have your plot and you have your theme, and they usually go hand in hand. However, the plot is what drives everything forward. Your main characters, similar to the plot, should always be moving forward. The problem is that the flashbacks surrounding Steven Yeun's character serve the theme more than they do the plot. Which is why when he dies, you're left with a hollow feeling because his death did not push the narrative forward. Nothing was really brought full circle. Yes, I know it's a rectangle, go f yourself. I don't know, am I grasping at straws here? I feel like there's a way to make these flashbacks more relevant to what the characters, what our main characters are going through, as opposed to just having it be kind of related to the theme of the overall movie. Maybe that's just me. Maybe these flashbacks work for everybody else. I don't know. Moving on though, I think another thing that kind of disappointed me about the film was the creature design. Like when the alien is in UFO form, it's scary enough, right? You have this thing flying over, it's abducting people. You even get this scene where you get the inside scene of people being abducted, going up into the quote unquote ship and being digested in like a small, narrow corridor. It's actually pretty terrifying. I mean, you're witnessing people be digested. I think that's what's happening anyway. Only for the twist, and I'm only calling it a twist because that's what everybody on the internet is calling it. I don't really see it as a twist, truthfully. At best, it's more of like a plot development. To reveal that it's not an alien piloting the ship itself is the alien. And I'm pretty sure I already gave that away by saying when the alien is in UFO form. But anyway, you find out that the UFO has been an alien creature this whole time, and it doesn't really have an impact. At least it didn't have an impact for me. I thought that we might have a twist where that gives me something new to think about or gives me something to get more invested in, I guess. Like a new sort of mystery around the movie, but like, nah. The same thing even happens later where you can see that the alien is transforming into a separate version of itself And at least I started thinking like, okay, like maybe I'll get to see what this thing actually looks like. Maybe the UFO form was kind of like a first form type thing, and its true form would be a lot more scary. But it wasn't.
Got him! Got him!
It was really just a big ass kite. And if it's not scary anymore, we kind of circle back to what I was talking about before with there isn't really tension. It's just how long you're just waiting, I guess, to see how this alien gets taken down. I think if they would have kept up the intimidation factor with the creature by giving it some kind of crazy, scary design or something like that, just something interesting, it would have helped a lot. I mean, I guess you could say that, yeah, it's an alien creature, like it's still scary, or I don't even know what the word would be. But the creature is about as scary as like a jellyfish. Like, I guess, yes, a jellyfish could sting you and this creature could eat you, but purely visually speaking, it doesn't look like anything to be afraid of. Even one of the main inspirations for this movie, that being Jaws, was scary in that a shark is fucking scary. Regardless of what you might think, just visually speaking, a shark looks like a terrifying creature. But if the shark in Jaws looked like this, you might not get the same reaction. Look, I'm sure there are going to be a lot of people who absolutely love this movie, and the same amount of people who absolutely hate it. I'm just kind of in the middle. It was, I actually ended up enjoying the character relationships and interactions way more than the actual creature or the thriller part of this movie, which is kind of cliche to say, like, you know, I'm gonna put my fucking art hat on and be like, oh, I actually enjoyed how the dialogue and relationships. But in all seriousness, they're well acted, and with the threat in the movie being kind of underwhelming, I ended up latching on to each character a lot more than the overall narrative, I'd say. But yeah, that's just how I felt about it. You can let me know how you feel about it in the comments. Don't be dickheads. You know, everybody feels different ways. I'm not saying that because I disliked it that you can't like it. They're just differing opinions. Speaking of differing opinions, I have some ideas for videos you all might want to see. Or nobody will see this at all because I won't get any views. In which case, I'll still make them because it's fun. They are:
Age of Ultron is underrated. Batman v Superman is underrated. Black Panther is overrated. The MCU is dead and you killed it. The Raimi Spider-Man films have everyone in a nostalgia-fueled chokehold.